Yes.
Better? Okay, perfect, great.
Okay.
So, how are you?
I'm great. I would say nothing could be better.
Good, no, no, good to see you, my friend, and really
Yeah.
happy to be here.
Mhm.
And looking forward to it. Really
Yes.
looking forward to it.
So, Jay, this is going to be an impromptu session. I'll just informal interaction with you. And so,
So
I
that means
had,
I can have my coffee, right?
of course, yes, of course, definitely. Actually, I'm also a coffee addict. You can actually call me a coffee addict. Yes.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm pretty notorious for my coffee affliction. I
Uh,
I I can really take some good amount of coffee.
uh, so actually, I think coffee is like an energy drink for me. Yeah.
For me, it's like I just love the flavor. I like it
Mm.
black, you know. So I
Okay. Uh-huh.
and I don't do much else. You know,
Hmm.
I'm pretty straightforward. Avoid smoking, drinking as
Okay.
much as I can.
Uh-huh.
So, but coffee is one thing that I really enjoy, and I'm not giving up on my coffee. I know some people say, oh, it's not good for you, but really, it's a very individual
Mhm.
thing I found. And some
Yeah.
people can do really well on coffee as long as you not drinking it, I guess, too late in the night, which I don't.
Absolutely. In fact, the best thing that happened to me was when I retired last year. My wife and daughter gifted me a coffee machine, uh, in which
Oh
through
wow.
yeah, and my daughter ordered three flavors of blue tokai coffee personally made for me. So it was like,
And they do that really nice thing also when
yeah,
they
yeah,
write your name like
yeah,
personally
exactly,
made for
personally
Colonel
made
Aditya,
for.
right?
Yes.
They do that.
And so I have saved those packets, and that message which she got for me, kept them as a memory for myself. And now what I do is I keep on trying new flavors. The latest which I've got is Bevdilla. These are these coffee cubes. You have to just add water, hot water, and nothing else
Oh,
is required. Yeah,
interesting. Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna ask you about that
yeah,
later on
yeah,
off the call.
absolutely. Okay, so shall we start?
Of course, 100%.
Okay. So first of all, Jay, thank you for taking out your time to come on my channel, learning from my life experiences. This is what I have called my YouTube channel, and I feel as we have learned over a period of time that sharing experience is the best way to learn from each other. And nothing can be much better than that. And any person having experience is the best coach in the journey. You don't really need to do any other program, of course. So that is something which I have really imbibed in myself. Before we start, can you tell us about your journey as to how what made you switch over from your work to become a coach?
Well, let me give a little background, right? So
Yeah.
I was somebody who was working a corporate job for 12 years. And
Okay.
you know this, I've
Yeah.
spoken about this before with you. And you know, I come from an HR background, and
Okay.
I'll give you a little background to the background because
Okay.
I, so I started working at the age of 17 because
Oh.
we're going through some very difficult times financially
Uh-huh.
in my family. My dad lost his business when I was 15,
Okay.
and we went through some really tough times. And you know,
Hmm.
I said, you know what? I think the right thing for me to do is to help out my mom. My mom was the one who was working and taking care of the family at that
Hmm.
particular point in time after my dad lost his business. And you know, I said, let me do something about it. So at 17, I started working a part-time job while I was while I was in college. And that
Okay.
part-time job lasted for the next 12 years,
Wow.
right? Because that part-time job became my full-time job, and it literally I climbed the ranks in that company, and I
Hmm.
became somebody who was taking care of all the operations. I was taking care of all the business, and it was good. I grew
Hmm.
really quickly compared to the other people at that time.
Okay.
My age. I was
Hmm.
making more money. I had more responsibility. I was learning more. So I was really like happy about that.
Okay.
And Um, what I didn't realize though, in those earlier years, because I was
Mhm.
getting so much so fast, is that I didn't realize that I didn't really connect as much as I should have been to the work
Okay.
that I was doing. The
Uh-huh.
excitement and the novelty was actually what kept
Mhm.
me going.
Okay.
And so, half a decade passed and then a decade
Oh,
passed. And what ended up happening is slowly, I began to realize that, I was stagnating because
okay.
I grew really fast, but then I reached a
Mhm.
plateau,
Okay.
right? And when you reach a plateau and the novelty is gone, and you're
Mhm.
not learning new things, and you're not growing, and financially things are kind of stuck then,
Yeah.
because 20, 30, 40,000 rupees is a lot of money
Mhm.
for a 17, 18, 19-year old, 20-year-old.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then when you're 30, that's nothing, right? And
Absolutely. Mm.
so and so I just was stuck.
Mhm. Okay.
And I also realized that I didn't connect with what I was doing. So
Mhm.
it wasn't even that I was doing it
Yeah.
for something that I love doing.
Mhm.
And so I can compromise on the financial aspect. A lot of people, although I don't agree with this, but a lot of people do this where they
Mhm.
compromise financially because they love doing
Yeah.
what they're doing. And I say, why not have both? Right? I
Yes.
say, why not
Mhm.
love what you do and also grow financially? And maybe,
Absolutely.
for a lot of people, they believe that might not be possible. I beg to differ. I think that it is,
Mhm.
but we'll
Yeah.
not talk about that right now.
Okay.
But anyway, it was at that period in my life where I realized, what, I got to make a change. I got to make a
Mhm.
shift.
Mhm.
And which is what eventually led me down to where I am right now,
Okay.
working as a coach and a speaker.
Mhm.
Worked with over 15,000 people in the last 1.5 to 2 years,
Okay.
and written two books,
Mhm.
writing another one now, and
Okay.
it's just been a wonderful,
Mhm.
wonderful journey for me. I really have enjoyed it thoroughly, and I love the ability to contribute to people's
Okay.
lives
Mhm.
with what I do. And I really believe that each and every person can design an extraordinary life for themselves, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do something you don't want. You don't have to be living a mundane life. You don't have
Mhm.
to, settle for mediocrity. You can have an extraordinary quality of relationships in your life. You could have an extraordinary quality of finance, wealth in your
Mhm.
life, an extraordinary quality in your health, in your body, in your physiology. I truly believe that all of these things are important for you to have that quality of life. And what
Okay.
I do is I work with people to help them achieve
Mhm. Okay.
that. So
So Jay, if I may ask you, where you said you started working at the age of 17 years. So what kind of your job profile were you working in, and how
my
what
first
was the
job
experience?
was,
Yeah.
yeah, my first job was a recruitment consultant.
Oh.
So I was working as a recruitment consultant. I would make phone calls to people,
Okay.
schedule interviews for them.
Mhm.
I would, look at CVs and, figure out who are the best people for the best
Yeah.
profile. And it's really interesting. I was looking at
Uh-huh.
resumes of, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, managers, CEOs, when I was 17, 18 years old. It
Yeah.
was a very interesting experience and
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out who was the right guy for the right job, you
Okay.
know. And I think that really did teach me a lot. It did.
Mhm.
I think I'm very thankful for the experience that I had, especially when I first started out
Yeah.
in that job, because it really gave me a lot of exposure of, what happens in the world,
Okay.
So that's how I started. I
Mhm.
think a lot of I learned some very valuable skills
Mhm.
during those times in my life. Things like, um, just being okay with, doing something, new for the first time. I
Yeah.
think that's something that people kind of get stuck at. They always get stuck at,
Mhm.
okay, if I'm doing ABC and I've been doing it for X number of years,
Yeah.
then I'm just going to continue doing ABC, or
Mhm.
maybe I'll add D, or maybe I'll add, E or whatever. Like you're just going to kind of grow linearly. But the
Yeah.
truth is that if you want to do something completely different, you can. It's possible.
Mhm.
You can do it. Maybe you need a little help to do it. Maybe you need the right kind of people around you to do it, but
Yeah.
you can. So I think what that was is a very new environment for me. It kind of helped me get out of my shell as a person. And what it also did was it helped me build my leadership skills, because I was leading teams of, when I was 20 years old, I was leading teams of people in their mid 20s and 30s. It was really cool, right? Because I was at that particular point in time the oldest employee in the company. It's a very small company. When I left, it was a pretty decent sized recruitment firm. When I started, it was pretty small. So that was my initial experience.
And did you face any challenges during that journey of yours when you were working with that company? Any major challenges?
Of course. I mean, it was. I mean, imagine you're a 20-year-old and you're leading a team of people who are 4 or 5 years older than you, more qualified than you in terms of MBA. And I knew my work, right?
Yeah.
And but of course, immense challenges, right? But I think. I didn't always end up dealing with those challenges in the right way.
Okay.
Right? Because I guess my level of aware, I did okay, right? Which is what kept me going in that job for so many years. But I think a lot of people kind of cope with difficulty, including myself, in maybe not the best way possible. By that I mean, like, let's say you're in you're in a leadership role, and you wanna there are two ways of impacting people, right? One is you could say you've got to do this, otherwise you're gonna have consequences, and you can shout at them and you can yell at them, and you could do it that way. Or you could actually have a system with you that helps you understand what helps and motivates people, and what drives them, what's really important for them, and why do what are their goals in life, what are their outcomes in life, and why are they not moving forward to achieve those outcomes and goals. And if you can figure that out, then you don't need to give people like hard consequences to get them to act, because they will be driven to act on their own. So I think when I look at what I do now as a coach, because I technically still lead people, right? But at the same time, what I used to do back then and what I do now, it's completely different. Because I think I was just not using the right strategies, right, on myself and with other people at that particular point in time, right? And I think when you have the right strategies, working with a group of people, working in a team, leading people, impacting people becomes effortless. It does. At that point in time, the challenges that I faced, I was trying to try so hard, I had to work so hard, I had to always be there. I was the first person to come, last person to lead. If you're a leader, you should be able to lead people in such a way that even if you're not there, they'll do what you told them to do. That's a leader.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the difference.
So I can relate with that, where when you told me, because when I was in the army, it was like you have to give an order, you expect the thing to be executed the way you have told them. And so, but as we grew in service, we also learned that if you give the people the freedom to do, you just give them the task. This is what to be done. How you do it doesn't matter to me. Then I think you get better results out of that.
I think the kind of, experiences that you would have had in the army, I cannot even imagine. I think that is incredible. I have so much respect for you, Colonel Aditya, because of that. Because I had my struggles, but I'm sure that you had so many of your own, and I think that when I have worked with you in the last, let's say, a couple of months, 3 months, 4 months, I think that I see that, because you're able to do things in such a way that I can see the experiences that you must have faced. And I think that is incredible, and I don't know if you've shared that with your audience, but you definitely should, because I think there's so much value that they will gain from something like that. So cool. It is really, really super.
So I believe that in every profession you're working in, where you have different kind of challenges, and you have your own different kind of methodology which you do follow to overcome them. And at times, you are in a situation wherein you have to go by your own gut instinct, because there's nobody around you to guide you. And at times you have a system in place which helps you do a thing in a much better way. When you mentioned that you reached a stage after around 11 years, you found that now I'm only growing linearly. There's no growth. Otherwise, then you decided to.
There was no growth. There was just when there's no growth, there's just debt. Trust me, if you look at a house plant, either it's growing or it's dying.
Absolutely.
So it was a very bad space to be in. Again, no problem with the company or the people that I was working with. They're brilliant people. It was just I realized that I was just not growing. And when you're not growing, you're done. And I think if one thing that I've realized, in order to live a fulfilled life, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much fame, name, the material possessions. I was just talking to this one lady yesterday. In fact, she was telling me, that I've done everything, right? That I've possibly wanted to do in terms of I have everything, all material possessions. I have a really great family. I don't have to work. I'm very comfortable. And yet this woman is having a breakthrough session with me because she wants to figure out a way where she can contribute back to the world. She wants to figure out a way for her to do something and make her own identity, right? How amazing is that? And the reason that is because ultimately, no matter what you have, right, fulfillment doesn't come from what you have. It comes from what you can contribute, what you can give, what you can do, right? And you can only give and contribute if you grow. So I think growth is so important. I think it's so important. I think it's one of the primary needs. And without growth, you just cannot have a fulfilling life.
Absolutely. So Jay, what prompted you to take up coaching as a career? You could have gone in for so many things. What was one main thing which attracted to you towards coaching?
I just love working with people. I love contributing to people. I think that this is my calling. This is why I'm here. I would not be doing anything else with my time. I love coaching people. I love impacting people. It doesn't matter what you call it, whether it's videos, whether it is writing a book, whether it's speaking on stage in front of thousands and thousands of people. Whatever I've done so far, right? It's just a way for me to impact more people. It's just a way for me to get that message out there, that everyone, especially if I could do it, pretty much anyone can do it. I found my way to do it. Your way might be completely different, but anyone can design an extraordinary life for themselves. Right? It's about figuring out who you are. It's about figuring out the conversations that you're having with yourself. It's about figuring out how to change those conversations, and then having like a vision for yourself of what you want to achieve, having a plan of where you want to go, and then just getting into a peak performance state and then moving forward towards that. I believe that is really key. And when you have these things in place, right, you know who you are, you know what conversations you're having with yourself, and you're in a great state, you can pretty much do anything that you want. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it is, especially if you're working with someone like yourself, or, if you've got a mentor, you've got a coach who's done what what you want to do, or knows how to get you there, right? Then it can be done by anyone, and it's a very simple process to follow.
So Jay, when you started your career as a coach, did you face any challenges in this journey of yours?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when I first started out, I had no help, I had no support. I was all on by myself. Later on, of course, I made sure that I was always surrounded by the right kind of people. I truly believe that if you want to have the one hack to having excellence in any part of your life is to be surrounded by people who have actually mastered that area, or who are actually at least doing 5 to 10 times better than you. So let's say if you want to improve your finances, right? then you want to be around people who are 5 to 10 times wealthier than you, and not somebody who's got their wealth handed to them, but somebody who has actually created that wealth. And if you don't have that, then you need to go out and find that, because that is going to change your entire life, right? So what I did was I went out and I found other coaches, speakers, people that I could hang around with. And I even in my community, I identified the people who were the best, and I said I want to hang out with the best, right? So if you want to be the best, learn from the best. And I think that helped me overcome these challenges. I still face challenges, and I'm going to face challenges as I go on. I hope I do, because when you overcome these challenges is when you grow as a person.
Okay.
No, that's okay, no problem. So I mean, that's pretty much been my take and my experience so far.
So you had mentioned that in about 1.5 years you have coached almost 15,000 people. So it is quite a large number to say. So how did you go about doing this process?
You just have to do it everywhere you go. I think that every opportunity that I get, I think a lot of people, and me included, right? They kind of feel when they see an opportunity, can I do it? Can I not do it? They sit on the fence, right? And what I decided to do is, after 12 years of sitting on the fence, I said, I can't do that anymore. My bum's hurting from sitting on this fence. I need to get off it. And so I just started, wherever I went, I just started, working with people, right? And I took up pretty much every opportunity, every speaking opportunity, every opportunity to coach someone, work with someone. And I just did it like as soon as possible, right? I again, it was the environment that I created, right, around myself. Or rather, I put myself in an environment where I could be pushed beyond my limits, right? And would pretty much do almost like boot camps, kind of an environment where you're just working, and you have to do that to push yourself beyond the limit that you kind of have in your own mind about yourself. I'll give you an example, right? The other day I said, let me get back into running. So I'm quite this thing on my health. I love taking care of my health, very passionate about it. But I don't like running. Okay, I don't like running. But I said, let me start just for my health. Let me start running again. And I did one workout, and I decided, what, I want to do 1 kilometer in 5 minutes, because I did 1 kilometer, I think 6 minutes or something. So I said, I think it'll be a great goal to have, and that will keep me accountable, and I'll do it this way. And then the next workout, I actually did 1 kilometer in 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, what if I had not even tried? I would not even know that I am capable of doing this. I would have no idea, Look, I'm not a runner. I don't know what a good time is for 1 kilometer. I have no clue. But because I have no past experiences, past references, my conversation about it was, I'll have to struggle to do 1 kilometer in 5 minutes. The truth is, I can do it. I can do it now. Right? But only way for me to figure that out is by doing it.
Absolutely.
And so what I would say to other people out there is, if there's something that you want to accomplish, right? Whether it's impacting a lot of people, making a lot of money, building a career, building a business, the only way that you're going to know whether you can or you can't is, the truth is that, first of all, you can, because everything that you believe you can do, you can do. It might not be a smooth ride, right? Sometimes life is like this, right? Goes up and down, but it overall goes up if you don't let failure stop. Because I see a lot of people, they hit failure once, and it becomes like a confirmation for themselves about the belief that they have. Oh, you know what? I can't do it. See, I can't do it. But the way that I look at it is that you got to keep trying, right? And you got to keep trying new ways of doing it. And for me, I always think of approaching any situation with, I can do it no matter what. Right. And if I can't do it one way, I will find another way to do it. So when I have that kind of a mental code that's running, a conversation that I have with myself that is so strong, that I know I will find it. And because I have a very strong idea of who I am as a person, because when I've worked on myself through a system which I now use with my clients.
Yeah.
Right. So which tells me what's important for me, what is what my values are, tells me what my goals are, tells me how I can fulfill those things. And now that I have a strong plan of action, and I have great mental goals, and I put myself in a great empowering state, now I can actually go ahead and achieve that, and nothing stops me, right? So, and there are 1,000 strategies to do things. The strategy is only 20% of the game, right? Because if you have a great mental state, you'll find the right strategy, right? So strategies, pretty much my strategy was, I'm going to work with anyone at any particular point in time. And I'm ready to do that now. If you have that thing, then trust me, 15,000 people is nothing. My aim is in the next 1 year to have worked with over 100,000.
Okay.
So that's my take.
So if will it be right to say that if I aim like, for example, you mentioned about your aim 100,000. If I set my aim high, my chances of achieving that also higher. Will that be correct?
Why is your aim? Why is your aim what your aim is? Is the question. Your why is the most important. Your why is the most important. That's what's going to drive you. What drives you towards it, right? So you got to have a really strong why.
Okay.
Right, and you got to have you gotta understand that the conversation that you're having with yourself in terms of the stories that you tell yourself.
Yeah.
About why you are where you are in your life. You got to be very aware about that. Right. And when you realize that you've been telling yourself a story, like for example, the lady that I was speaking to yesterday, she has a story that if she works on her business, then her relationships will suffer. Okay. How does she know? Has she ever tried? No. She's never tried it. So how does she know? Maybe her relationships might end up getting stronger because she might have a stronger sense of self. Yes. Because she's accomplished something, she feels more confident, she feels like she's in a great state. Maybe her relationships improve because of that, because she's able to give more. When you have more inside of you, you can give more.
Absolutely.
Right? So what if her relationships improve? Right? So I'm saying that the conversations that you have, the stories that you tell yourself, pretty much determines where you're going to go in life.
Okay. That is a very big thing to do.
So if you know what's important for you, right, you understand what story you're telling yourself. If you can change that and tell yourself the story that will empower you, right, and then you get yourself into a fantastic and powerful state where you're emotionally, and that will happen when you have aligned yourself to what you're doing. So if you say I want to make a lot of money, but you really want to help people, you need to be able to connect the two.
Absolutely.
That's the only way that we'll actually be able to make that kind of money. Because money by itself could be a really poor motivator for a lot of people. I've realized.
Yeah.
At least for me, it is. It's about what you do with that money. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And one more thing I want to ask you, Jay, is that you mentioned about the environment that you create yourself. That makes a lot of difference. So when you are making the environment, if you have a person in your in that environment or a group who always pushes you to pushes you to your limits and cross your limit. So will that be better than having a person who always encourages you, but just they're not pushing you?
You tell me, what do you think will help?
So I personally feel a person who pushes you to beyond your limits will be more empowering, because they will make you realize your hidden potentials which you are not ready to accept.
I think you gotta have a person around you who sees not only where you are right now, but also sees where you could be one day.
Yes.
We look at our parents, right? They push us beyond our limits because they don't see us as the 9-year-olds or 10-year-olds that we are, but who we will become. Or if you look at our
Yeah.
teachers, right, they push you because they don't see you for, okay, this guy is not great at his studies, but he could be one day. At least the
Yeah.
good teachers do,
Mhm.
right? And even if you're a good leader, you push your employees to be great leaders themselves one day,
Absolutely.
and because you can see that what they could do for themselves and for the company, right?
Mhm.
So I think that of course you need, if you don't have that, and if you're somebody who maybe is even the best performer in your
Mhm.
environment, then you're probably in the wrong environment.
Yeah.
If you don't have someone pushing you to improve yourself, and if you're comfortable, then you're in the wrong environment. Because once you get in
Mhm.
your comfort zone, that's where growth stops.
Absolutely.
Once growth stops,
Absolutely.
that's
I
it.
fully agree on
Game
that
over.
with you. I fully agree on that. Because the moment we get into our comfort zone, then we will like to have that status, so we don't move out, like to move out. And that is where you start simulating. So one more thing I saw
Absolutely.
there was that you have a very like we have been interacting with you for almost about 3-4 months now, and you have a amazing working relationship with Smita, and so
Yeah.
so that is why my question was where when we have seen you keep on pushing each other, and that is how you're setting examples for us. So
110%.
yeah.
And you don't have no idea
Mm.
how hard we get pushed
Mhm.
by the others around us, right? So it's look, you gotta have. I personally believe that my life has completely changed when I've seeked out great mentors, great
Mhm.
people, great examples in my life,
Yeah.
right? That's when my life has shifted, because what it does is, number one, of course, you have someone to push you, but
Mhm.
number two, you also start seeing what's possible.
Yeah.
And when you see what's possible, your own ability to envision a better future for yourself, better possibilities for
Mhm.
yourself, right? That ability increases tenfold, right? And you want to keep doing that. Like when you reach a certain level, you need to look to the next level,
Mhm.
right? Now, of course, is life only about achievement? 100% not. I don't believe that. I'm not saying that. But
Yeah.
because there is also, I think, uh, fulfillment, right,
Mhm.
which comes from enjoying the moment,
Yeah.
and really having great connections with other people, having a great relationship with yourself. But I don't think the two are exclusive of one another. I think that they come
Yeah.
together. You cannot live a
Interrelated.
life of great achievement without being
Mhm.
fulfilled, because we know what
Yeah.
happens, right? Like there are people
Mhm.
who are very famous, very wealthy, have everything that they want in life, but they're not fulfilled,
Absolutely.
right?
Mhm.
And that's a different topic as to why. But
Yeah.
I'm saying that both things, when it comes to designing an extraordinary life, is not just achievement but also fulfillment.
Mhm.
Both things have to be looked after, and I think that is probably, if you look at the most successful people in life, not just successful in terms of money and all of that, but successful in terms of how happy they are.
Yeah.
They've got both.
Mhm. Yeah. That
you
is
know
it. So thank you, Jay. Thank you. First of all, thank you for taking your time, taking out time for me, and having a wonderful
Thank you.
interaction with you. So, what would be your one point message for people like me who have just started ourselves into this journey of coaching, which we should keep in mind if we want to become great coaches, not good coaches, great coaches.
Oh, I would say that, especially for you, Colonel Aditya, I think you're already a
Mhm.
pretty great coach. I do.
Mhm.
I would
So
say
thank
just give
you.
more people. I would just say give more people the opportunity to get to know that.
Yeah.
To do
Mhm.
what you have to do so that people can see how good you are.
Yeah.
Because once people see how good you are,
Mm.
you will you will already be an extraordinary coach. You'll already be an incredible coach, right? So that's what
Thank
I
you.
would say. I
Yeah.
would say just let people know.
Thank you very much, Jess. Thank you. And it was a wonderful session. And I got to interact with you and got a lots of new uh, hints and clues from you, which has started making me think. And I think I'll apply these little nuggets which I have picked up from you. And in the near future, if not now, maybe another year, I would be in the same position where you are. You're like a great motivator. You and
Thank you. I
Sita, I would say
appreciate that.
both
Thank
are
you
a
so much.
great. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
guys.
much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.